Today's the day for the very first time that Slough Town get promoted to the Premier League. Oh, but what have we got to do to get there, you ask? Well, it's a good question. We have this run of fixtures: Oxford United, Leeds, Cardiff, Ipswich, Birmingham, Norwich, Coventry, Hull, and a final day fixture against Blackburn. That is our run-in. I mean, we're all talking about playoffs. We're all talking about players, but can we dream? Can we dream for a minute? Could we get automatic promotion today? Sojay, Tor, good save, goal. Game over. Sayonara. It's been fun, everyone, but unfortunately, that is that. What a shame.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome your host for today, Mr. Y. Callum.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Bill Slough. My name's Y. Callum and we're in season 12. And what division are we in? Yeah, we're still in the Championship. I mean, I think it was probably predictable, but it didn't stop it hurting. It's the hope that gets you, it really, really is. And we had an awful run-in yesterday on the stream, winning 4 of our fixtures and losing the rest. 5-1 to Leeds, 1-0 to Cardiff, 3-2 to Birmingham, 4-0 to Norwich, and the eventual dagger, which was a 4-2 loss to Hull, which you saw the final goal in there. We did have a very, very dramatic game, which I was so disappointed on stream, I stopped at 3-0. We're 3-0 down to Blackburn. It was a bit of a goodbye tour. There's a few players who have left from this team. There's actually a few who I kept on, which I wasn't expecting to. But somehow in the 80th minute, we went on to score 3 goals. Hamzad got a goal back. Big Bennett came off the bench, scored 2, and Misa Jimmo scored the winner. So we beat Blackburn, which meant absolutely nothing. Last time you saw us, we were talking about playoffs, maybe even automatic promotion, and we were flying with our form. But as you saw there, the form really, really dropped off. We were still very, very close to getting in the playoffs. We were actually 2 points off, but it looks quite bad, really, doesn't it? But we ended up finishing in 9th with 77 points. We were joined on points with Sheffield Wednesday and Norwich, but with a worse goal difference after we took a couple of thumpings in the run-in. So we spent the summer thinking, well, what do we do now? We were close, but we weren't there. Well, despite having a very, very healthy bank balance, the board decided to give us £700,000 at a wage budget which didn't really give us much of an option. So the first thing we had to do was offer a load of our stars from the team new contracts because people were sniffing around. Sheffield Wednesday were desperate to sign Kofi Ajamang, so we got him on a big £14,000 a week deal. Mickey McDonald has wanted a new deal for quite a while, so we eventually managed to afford him one as well. Musa Jimmo's wage was doubled because we needed to keep our star players around. And the trickiest one of the summer so far, Sam Sills, who we really, really struggled to afford, if I'm honest with you, he also has signed a new deal. It's actually literally gone through like a day ago, so it's not officially there, but I think it's something like £11,000 a week. He's almost doubled his wage as well. It was a really, really tricky summer, and those wage increases meant we had very little money to spend in the transfer market. So the first name we brought in was a familiar face. QPR got relegated from League One and he was on loan from them. They wanted £3 million for him last summer, so we got him on loan instead. This summer, we purchased him for £350,000, which I think is a very, very good deal for a centre-half who basically started every single game of last season, bar one, and was very consistent during that. 6.89 rating, might not be that 7, but for a centre-half, I thought he was really, really solid. At 23 years of age, it was an absolute no-brainer for me. Vibe is in on a permanent deal. Then we move to possibly one of the stranger signings. It's linked to one of the outs, which is a sad one, and I will talk you through that in a second. But we've brought in non-league Tommy. His real name is Thomas Smith. We've brought him in from Mansfield. He was the top goal scorer in the Vanarama National. I just had a little bit of a moment where I was like, we need a striker who's going to be like 3rd or 4th choice here. So we need someone who's not expecting to start every week, but we want someone who's confident in scoring goals. So I just literally clicked on the Vanarama National, found the top goal scorer, and it was non-league Tommy. So we've brought in a player who I think is quite well-rounded, especially for a 3rd or 4th choice. Whether he'll get a lot of minutes this season, I'm not sure. He'll be a bit of a story this season, one way or another. Whether he'll make it or not, I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Do you think he's good enough? One thing to mention with non-league Tommy, which makes me think maybe the signing wasn't the best idea, is he does take one of our non-Bill Slough slots. We've got 2 free because both Sam Sills and Ogbenair have been here for 3 years, so they have now got their passports. But non-league Tommy, should we have really used one on a striker who's, sort of third or fourth choice? I don't know. There was another striker who we almost got in, who was also Irish, funnily enough, who maybe was a little bit better, but that was a loan deal. I will show you him now. His name was Paul Keane from Wolverhampton Wanderers. He's in their under-21s at the moment. I think he's maybe slightly better, but my thought process was get a player in who's ours, so maybe, down the line we could either sell on and actually have an asset to our name, because unfortunately, we're working with really small margins. Paul Keane was only a loan deal. We couldn't afford him. I mean, he's worth over £6 million now. And although he would have been slightly better, I'm actually happy with our front 2 anyway. And that brings us to our final signing of the summer. Yes, we've only made 3 so far. Adel Hadzic. He is a Bosnian international as well. Has played 21 games for them. He obviously fills our final Bill Slough slot and actually has to use one of these escape buttons, the ESC work permits, because he didn't qualify for one, despite playing 21 games for Bosnia, which I think is a little bit harsh. I think he's a really good midfielder. He adds competition to that those central midfield places, which I think was important. We just needed that extra player, especially in the run-in. We didn't get Jack Radoni despite offering a contract to him. And I felt like we needed someone like Jack Radoni and someone with, 11 long shots, a good first touch on him, technique, good vision, really good balance. He doesn't fall over very often. I think he's an interesting signing, Adel Hadzic. We'll be intrigued to see how he gets on. He's had lots and lots of loan spells, including a season in the Eredivisie with Utrecht. But Blackburn bought him a few years ago and he just didn't really make it there. So will he make it at us? Fingers crossed he'll be a strong addition.
Let's hear you sing his name. It's fun to see him play.
But unfortunately, we will not be seeing Tommy Wingate play any longer. 282 games for the club, 134 goals. He was an absolute stalwart of the club and has been with us through most of the divisions, but he just wasn't good enough for last season. He only got 1 start, scored 1 goal actually, which I will show you, which was in the run-in and a lovely little moment. But yeah, Tommy Wingate is with a heavy heart, and you would assume maybe he won't find a club now because his expectations would be a bit too high. But thank you, Tommy. Ethan Evans has done really well there to win back possession. Denton into Wilmot, through to Tommy Wingate. Oh, he's done it. Play the music. Come on. Tommy Wingate. Tommy Wingate. Get your gates in, chat, everyone. Tommy Wingate scored a goal. I told a complete lie. We actually did sign 4 players. I apologise. It was before the transfer window, when it moves over. So it's technically in last season. But Rakesh Kinchant, he's actually a really important signing. A new centre half for us. Now, he can play in central midfield as well, but he will be our centre half. I just think he's a really, really well-rounded centre back. Without being outstanding, I think he really offers a different option to Mason Hunter, because I've talked quite openly about Mason Hunter, where I think he's good, but I think he's limited in a lot of ways. I think Rakesh gives us a bit more of an option in there. He's got a decent first touch on him, very, very brave, well-rounded physically. I think he's slightly better than Mason Hunter in there. We got him for free from Plymouth, which I think was a no-brainer. He's within the Bill Slough region as well. And so Rakesh comes in and he will probably start the opening day. And how did I not mention our big out? Ethan Evans is a lad with a lot of potential and was very much a bit part player for us last season. Played 34 games, so came on an awful lot of times. However, Plymouth was sniffing around him all season long and offering sort of 1 million, 1.5 million. So I thought, we need money to be able to get these contracts over the line. And he's an asset who doesn't start every week. And despite having potential at 20 years old, I felt like he was the one to cash in on. And I'm really happy with the fact we got £2.5 million for Ethan Evans. I think it's excellent business. It's a record sale for the club as well. 1 start for him, 33 appearances off the bench. He was never really the rounded package. I think he is more a defensive midfielder than a right back, in fairness to him. But he does move on from the club, and he facilitated a lot of new contracts, which was really important. But even with 2.5 million, it didn't give us enough money to actually sign anyone really of note. So that takes us to the side that will be facing off against Swansea away from home in the opening fixture. It's basically the same team. The only real changes we've made are to the centre half. Savaib comes over to the right-hand side and becomes a stopper. And Rakesh Kinchant, which is a tricky name to say, so I'm not sure what we're going to nickname him. Maybe Kish, I'm not sure. But Kinchant comes in alongside him. He's played most of pre-season as well. Briney has been injured for the majority of pre-season, but I'm really confused because both him and Bayan Bolwell seem not match fit, so I'm not sure who was playing left back in pre-season. Other than that, it is basically an unchanged side. We could have brought Hadzic in for Musa Jimmo, but you know what? Let's stick to the team that did so well last season, and hopefully they'll continue to do well this season. Non-league Tommy sneaks onto the bench, as does Hadzic, but other than that, as I say, pretty much unchanged. The only big situation we've got is at right back, because Kofi Adjamang is obviously so important to us, marauding down that right side, and we now don't have Ethan Evans to come on for him, so Danny Imre may get a few minutes in there. I've also brought a couple of lads, Kavan Clunan and Tamandu Cleverly, into the reserves just to sort of pad out the squad a little bit, because we are a little bit light on the ground. So here we go, full of hope for a brand new season. We are predicted 23rd this season, not 24th, so you know, we've really gone up in everyone's estimations. We were 400 to 1 last season, we're 200 to 1 this season, we're halving it. We look so very good. The teams that came down, Nottingham Forest, Luton and Brentford, and the teams that came up, Huddersfield, West Brom and Millwall. They've made this league a lot stronger, I feel like, with the fact they've come up from League One. There's some really solid, I would argue, championship sides coming back into the division. We face off against Swansea, who are predicted to finish 19th. So could we get a first day victory? So here we go, the first game nerves kicking in. We are full of hope. We haven't kicked a ball yet, so anything could happen this season. We could win the league or we could come bottom. Who knows? We face off against a very smiley Calvin Phillips Swansea. Corner here early on as it's towards Abbey, and after 6 minutes of the game, we're 1-0 down. A header at the near post sends the Swansea fans rocking. It's a really good header by Abbey, and no, not like this. When you do a summer transfer window, I was doing it last night, and I really enjoyed doing all the transfers. And you just start thinking, oh, we're going to do really well here. You know, we've bought well, we've sold cleverly. You know, within a really tight budget. And then you go and play the first game of the season and everything goes wrong. But McDonald wins that back off the goal scorer Abbey into Sav Ibe now. Ibe chips it towards Big Bennett. It's hit him and come back to the Swansea man. Abbey now. Snellgrove. There's been loads of interest in Big Bennett over the summer, and I'm worried we're going to lose him as Panzavecchia shoots. And if I've pronounced that correctly, I'd be very impressed. He's hit the post, and Big Bennett now brings this forward for Slough. Is there a chance for us, the first of the season, as Big Bennett gets past his man really well there and wins a free kick? I'm not sure if we're going to see that. We're not. Ugh. So at half time it is 1-0 without us even having a notable shot on goal. We do seem to be matching them across the pitch. We've had a lot more of the ball as well, so maybe we need to be a bit more direct with it, but I think I will bring on Hadzic at half time. One thing that is looming over us on Morale Manager, as we well know, is Sam Sills. He's still upset about the contract situation, so that hasn't been resolved yet, so that might be looming over us. As here is Sam Sills, knocks a really long ball over to Justin Bradley, who volleys it on the first time. Oh, Bennett's, how's he missed? How's he missed? What a chance. That would have been an insane goal, but not to be, as the score remains 1-0. Non-league Tommy has been brought on for Big Bennett because we're not really doing anything up there, as Adjamang gives it into Sills. Adjamang, Briley now down the left-hand side. Sam Sills loses out. Denton wins that one back though. Can we do anything with this? Sav Ibe. He's got Adjamang out on the right and he finds him really well. He's got men in the middle. Mickey McDonald drives inside. Non-league Tommy! Come on! Get in! What a moment. He takes his Mansfield form and he smashes it into the back of the net. I was so unsure on him, and what a moment. I feel vindicated as Adjamang gives it into Mickey McDonald, the main man. As I cough again, and non-league Tommy knocks it over Sutcliffe, and it is 1-1. Come on, Tommy. Well, that's made me excited now as we make a triple sub. Danny Imre coming on at right back with only 8 minutes to go. There is another chance here for Slough. There is Danny Imre, a very attacking wing-back, as we well know, as McDonald now has it. Tried to find non-league Tommy again, but it's a poor pass as Panasvecchia loses out to Hadzic, our first sighting of our new signing here. Rodriguez, McDonald, non-league Tommy, a little bit slow on the ball there, but we win it back. Oh, it's a poor pass. What is this highlight? Oh no, I've got a horrible feeling. Maybe not. Denton. Kinchant, once again, first real sighting of him as well. Hadzic, lovely first time ball. Non-league Tommy, oh my goodness gracious me. Non-league Tommy, calm down, lad. What was that? Free kick here, Anel Hadzic plays it to Ogbenea. Danny Imre now, down the left-hand side. He's tackled well, but he keeps possession of the ball. He's got a good cross on him. I say that was an awful cross. Baxter now. Maybe he hasn't anymore. His old legs. You know, I say old legs, he's probably about 29. Hall hooks it towards Panasvecchia, but Hadzic wins it back, but then loses it to the Swansea man. Scott down the left-hand side, he beats him, Ray for pace, Baxter shoots over the bar. This is nervy, 4 minutes to go. So the goal from non-league Tommy shares the spoils at Swansea. I'm not sure if I'm happy or sad about the result. Non-league Tommy actually getting player of the match as well, which is really good for him coming off the bench for Big Bennett. Are we happy? I'm not sure. I'm not sure I'm happy. I've literally never seen this before. Our youth player, Sheikh Toure, is going to go on loan to Didcot. And the loan contract type is a work experience one. Has anyone ever seen that before? A work experience contract? Well, we're definitely accepting it. What? I mean, I had work experience at a leisure centre. I was just basically mopping the showers all the time. It was a terrible week. So lots of changes for this game. Lots of changes for this game against Bristol City in the Carabao Cup, a competition we don't really care about, if I'm being completely honest with you. So we've pretty much gone for a full rotation. Kinchant holds his place, as does McDonald, as does Gennady, but that is literally it. We've rotated everybody else to try and give a few more minutes to them and see a few players whether they're up to the standard. There's a highlight here in the very first minute of the game as Hallett knocks a long ball, which is completely missed by everyone. Thompson comes through for Bristol City and Gennady saves well, but Hussein Matar makes it 1-0 and we're 1-0 down again as he celebrates in front of the Slough fans there. Obviously, a competition we don't really care that much about, but disappointing to see us go behind again. I'm not sure who misses that header. Is it Mason Hunter? It is Mason Hunter, and it's quite poor all round, really. Things can only get better. Can only get better. Come on, boys. Till I found you. Marsh Johnston. My hope is draining away. Thompson, I mean, this is a rotated team, Callum. It's probably fine. It's probably fine. Oh, it's not fine, is it? It's not fine at all. Hussein Matters made it 2-0. Well, the rotated squad are doing terribly with 2-0 down. I've checked as well. Hussein Matters on the transfer list. We can buy for 220k, so maybe we should consider that. But yeah, really, really poor. I don't know what I was expecting, really, because we have heavily rotated the side, but it's not been good, has it? We brought the two young lads on, Cavan Clunan and Cleverly in midfield, which, I mean, nice for them to have a run out. I'm sure their parents will be over the moon. I'm not over the moon about anything right now. Interesting to note that two of the only greens we had, it's just gone down to 6.9, were our new signings. Kinchin and Adel Hadzic both had 7 ratings at a point in that game. Can you tell I'm clutching at straws? We're out of the Carabao Cup. Sills, he's happy to stay at the club now, signed a new deal. It wasn't 11,000, it was actually 14,000 that we've offered him with a minimum release clause of 16 million. I wouldn't mind that money if anyone fancies giving us that. I'm hoping that might just tip the dynamics over the edge. Now it's only the two lads wanting a loan, and they're actually quite happy with the efforts I've made to send them out on loan. So maybe we win this next one. So, a couple of changes. Andy Stockbridge has picked up an injury, so we move Tamandu Cleverly onto the bench, and he can't come onto the bench without his mate Cavan Clunan, so they are both on the bench now. Hadzic will be starting this game. It's the first fixture we have had at Arbour Park this season. And with now Sam Sills happy, my hope is we're about to see the actual Slough in this game. Sheffield Wednesday did win their first game of the season 3-1 against Blackburn, which is a good victory. So they certainly won't be an easy game, but fingers crossed we're about to see a bit of a better performance. This part of the save is so great for all the managers you're playing. It was Calvin Phillips in the first game, Robbie Keane in the second, and now it's Eddie Howe's Sheffield Wednesday. I love it. Right, so there is an early chance coming from Gennady here. Briley down the left-hand side for Slough. Arbour Park looks packed to the rafters as always, as Hadzic gives it off to Kinchant. Over to Kessie Denton. Sam Sills, who's now over the moon with like almost triple the wages. Ajimang. Ibe. Really patient build up this. As Sam. Rodriguez wins it back there really well. McDonald off to Kofi Ajimang. Positivity, crosses Rodriguez. Oh, how's he not scored? It's a really unorthodox save from Inamori in the Sheffield Wednesday goal, but I don't know how he's missed that, as Hadjic will take this short corner to Ajimang, who gets it into the back post towards Rodriguez, who doesn't win that header, and they will now come away with the ball. Hopefully end of highlight. No, carries on. Sam Sills into McDonald. Oh my goodness, not end of highlight, please. Go for Ajimang. McDonald shows. Come on! We're back. Mickey McDonald. Mick Mac Paddywhack gives Slough a goal. And these two so often link up with Ajimang and McDonald, and it's a great goal. It's a great confidence booster for me and everyone. Mainly me. Brogio down this right-hand side now for Sheffield Wednesday. Is he about to upset me deeply? Big Bennett almost got back there. Taylor's chance to shoot is a good save from Steve Gennaro. We can't sing England under 21's number one anymore because he's 22. So he's not the England under 21 number one. Someone has said since he's turned 22, he's really dropped off. He made a couple of big errors in the run-in. But no, Big Steve is still, in my heart, England under 21's number one. I don't know about you, Steve Gennardo's 22. Not as catchy. Denton, don't tell Taylor Swift I said that. McDonald's in! Oh, we started again! What a ball, what a goal, what a man, what a great vocal. Don't mention the vocal. This is far out. We're in the rafters for some reason. I laid off Denton, who knocked the ball over the top. The defenders had a nightmare there. McDonald took brilliant first touch, and then the finish is wonderful. He's scored a brace. I love Mickey McDonald, and it's 2-0. Throw in here for Sheffield Wednesday. Caceres over to Amas, but Ajimang gets there, sort of. We're not really getting rid of this one, are we? And Corness now into Johnson, off to Brogio. Chips it over to Hansen Aaron. Crosses it in. Good save from Steve. I don't know about you, but Steve Gennardo's 22. Ajimang with a throw. McDonald. Savibe. All the way back to Steve Gennardo now. If only we had a song for him. Briley. Down the left-hand side. Come on, Justin. Go on, Justin. Into Rodriguez, who we've seen absolutely nothing of in these 3 games. I mean, he didn't play one of them. Oh my goodness, Big Bennett, make the tackle. I thought he was going to tackle the keeper then. Amas now down the left-hand side for Sheffield Wednesday. Rivera. Taylor. Banks. I think it's Barks, actually. In behind Ajimang. Rivera shoots. Goal. Geronimo, which is one of the best first names you can have. I think we can all agree. Geronimo Rivera strikes it past Steve, and all the positivity leaks out of me like a leaky sink, or leaky bath, or leaky pipe. What else could be leaky? Bottom. There's another chance, and I've got a horrible feeling. Hadžič, Briley now. Kinchant, Denton, Sammy Sills, over to Kessie Denton, Savibe. I think this season's a really, really interesting one because we massively overperformed as Ajimang crosses in towards Big Bennett. Oh, massively overperformed last season, and then we were left disappointed, which seems ridiculous. You know, if we'd been offered 9th at the start of the year, we would have taken it. But now it's a case of almost we've got to do better than 9th. And I know that in reality, all the board want is for us to attempt to avoid relegation again. But that's not the actual expectation, is it? The actual expectation is, could we go up this year? And the first 3 games, or the first 2.5 games, haven't been overly convincing, I would say. At half-time, we're going to take off Rodriguez. He's doing nothing, and he's on a booking. So we're going to bring on non-league Tommy. It's really interesting to note here. Big Bennett is suddenly out of nowhere 4.5 starts. He's really improving quite rapidly, Big Bennett. And lots of clubs do want him. He's actually got a release clause of £4 million, which does worry me that might be triggered. But you look at some of the attributes he has got. He is a real athlete. And at 24, he is only improving. 20 goals last season he scored for us. Who knows? Am I highlighting him and he's going to score in the second half? Maybe. There's a corner kick here. The first chance of the second half. Briley has it. 62 minutes on the clock. Into Hadžič now. Briley into Sam Sills. Gets that ball towards Kofi Ajimang, who's hit the post. Oh my goodness. What a chance for Kofi there. And Kinchant will pick this back up and gives it back to Denton. Big chance there. There's been a lot of interest in Bayan Bolwell as well this summer, which we have rebuffed because he is a useful squad option as Taylor. Oh my goodness. I thought we conceded there. He's come on for Briley, and we've got Musa Jim on for Hadžič in midfield. Oh, let's hold on to this, shall we? Just one more goal. Come on. Not for them. I didn't want a goal for them. Johnson cross Savide clears towards non-league Tommy, who doesn't win that header. 6'4" non-league Tommy. It's Brogio Middleton. No, please. I just wanted to win a game. Wait. It's offside. It's offside. Oh, just went into full-on meltdown there. I think I kept my cool really well, though. Brogio into Middleton. I don't know who's offside. I don't care. It doesn't matter. We've survived. We're going to try and slow it down here with 2 stoppages. We bring on Ogbenea to start off with. And then we bring on Tim Andu cleverly, the youth product who gets his debut there. And we hold on to a win. Come on, it's a big, big win, that one. After the scare from Geronimo in the first half. I think we've been the better side there, in fairness, when you look at the match stats. And we're off the mark properly. It's 3 points. It's our first win of the season. A man of the match performance from Kofi Ajamang after getting that assist. That makes me feel a little bit better. And breathe. We have got 4 points on the board. Undefeated. Hey, it's all going well. It's all going well. Undefeated for the start of the season. And I think, we have to be reasonably hopeful. Sheffield Wednesday were a team who were up there. Finished above us, didn't they? They finished 8th last season. So a really solid victory, that one. But as we look into the rest of the season now, there will be more streams coming your way, hopefully, and we will continue with this season. But thank you so much for watching and continue with the journey. I appreciate sometimes it's a long journey like this can be easy to drop off, and the YouTube videos are very sporadic, aren't they? But I hope you are enjoying the journey, and I'll catch you on the next one. Have a lovely day. Goodbye.